We spend about a third of our entire lives asleep, and for a big chunk of that time, our brains are just going wild. We have these bizarre, sometimes terrifying, sometimes incredible experiences we call dreams. But why? What are they actually for? Well, today we're diving into a really cool new theory that might just flip everything we thought we knew about our own minds.
I mean, really, think about it. It's one of the most basic questions you can ask about being human. Every single night, our brains create this fully immersive virtual reality. And for the longest time, its actual purpose has been one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in all of neuroscience.
For decades, the leading scientific idea was that dreams were basically just meaningless static. The brain just cleaning house while the lights are out. But a brand new hypothesis, and this is so cool, it borrows ideas from the world of artificial intelligence. And it argues the complete opposite. It says that the strange, hallucinatory, totally bonkers nature of our dreams isn't some weird side effect, it's the entire point.
Okay, so to really get where we're going with this new idea, we first have to understand the old one. Let's take a look at the classic explanation that really dominated the field for a long, long time.
So, back in 1977, two Harvard psychiatrists, J. Allen Hobson and Robert McCarley, came up with something called the activation synthesis model. And at the time, this was a huge deal. The idea was that dreams weren't some deep, symbolic message from your subconscious. Nope, they were just your brain's best attempt to stitch together a story from completely random electrical signals firing up from your brainstem while you sleep.
So the process, according to them, goes something like this. First, your brainstem just starts firing off signals during REM sleep. Then, those signals hit your limbic system. That's the part of your brain that handles emotions and memories. So now you've got all this chaotic, emotional, memory-tinged static. And finally, your forebrain, the smart, storytelling part of your brain, sees all this mess and does what it does best. It tries to make sense of it all by creating a narrative. And bam, that's your dream.
And look, the random noise theory was a massive leap forward. It was huge for grounding dreams in actual biology. But as time went on, scientists started noticing some pretty big cracks in that foundation. There were just some things it couldn't really explain. So, another popular idea that came along was that dreams are all about memory. The theory goes that when we're asleep, our brain is busy replaying the day's events, kind of like a highlight reel, to help lock those memories in for the long haul. And that sounds super logical, right? It makes perfect sense. Well, here's the thing. That super logical idea runs into one very big, very inconvenient number. When researchers actually sat down and analyzed thousands upon thousands of dream reports, they found something that really throws a wrench in that whole memory replay idea. Get this, less than 2% of our dreams are literal, direct replays of things that actually happened to us. Just think about your own dreams for a second. Yeah, you might dream about your boss or your friend, but do you ever dream about sitting at your desk answering emails for 8 straight hours? Of course not. Our dreams are weird. They're symbolic and fantastical. They almost never look like a straight recording of our day.
And this is where things get really interesting. This is where we meet a powerful new contender called the overfitted brain hypothesis. And to wrap our heads around it, we're going to take a quick little trip into the world of AI.
So in the world of machine learning, there's this classic problem called overfitting. Imagine you're trying to teach an AI to recognize what a cat is. If you only ever show it pictures of your own fluffy orange cat, it'll get amazing at recognizing your cat. But the second you show it a picture of a sleek black cat, it's going to have no idea what it's looking at. It didn't learn the general idea of cat. It just memorized the one thing you showed it. That's overfitting.
Now, let's bring that idea back to us. Our lives can be, well, pretty repetitive, right? We have the same commute, the same job, we see the same people. An overfitted brain would be a brain that gets too good at that routine. It becomes rigid. It loses its ability to be creative, to think on its feet, or to handle something totally new and unexpected. It gets stuck in a rut. So the hypothesis from neuroscientist Eric Hall is basically that our brains face this exact same challenge every single day. We're constantly in danger of getting over-specialized to our own little daily bubble, of losing our mental flexibility. And so evolution needed a solution to that problem.
So what is nature's brilliant built-in solution to stop our brains from getting overfitted? Well, I think you know where this is going. This is the real biological job of our dreams.
The reason our dreams are so strange, so illogical, so completely different from our day-to-day lives is because they have to be. The weirdness is the brain's nightly debugging process. It's not a bug, it is the single most important feature.
And what's absolutely wild is how perfectly the features of our dreams match up with the exact tricks that AI engineers invented to solve overfitting in their models. For instance, our dreams are sparse, right? They're fuzzy on the details. You can't really read a clock or a book in a dream. Well, that's just like an AI technique called dropout, where you randomly ignore data to make the system stronger. Next, dreams are hallucinatory and bizarre. That's like domain randomization, where engineers feed an AI intentionally weird and corrupted data to make it better at handling the unexpected. And finally, dreams have a narrative. They tell stories. This is just like using a generative AI to create totally new data to expand its training set. It's a perfect match.
So this isn't just some neat abstract theory. Thinking about dreams this way actually has some pretty profound implications for how we understand our own minds, our creativity, and even our own well-being.
So the huge takeaway here is this. Dreams are not just random brain garbage. They are a vital, nightly maintenance routine. They are designed to shake things up, to inject a little bit of healthy chaos into our brains to keep us from getting stuck. This is the process that keeps our thinking flexible, that helps us solve novel problems, and that ultimately fuels our creativity when we're awake. And that leads to one last, really fascinating thought. If our brains evolve this incredible nightly mechanism to feed us weird, new experiences to keep us mentally agile, then what does that say about our obsession with stories, with books, with movies, with art? Could our love of fiction just be a way of consciously doing the exact same thing our brains do unconsciously every night? It's something to think about, isn't it?